Hi, welcome to the Celestial Circle podcast.
I'm Love.
And I'm Tylin. We're two Los Angeles-based astrologers and healers.
Join us each month as we explore the upcoming transits to see how they will affect you, show up in the world, and in our own personal lives.
We hope that you will find guidance, understanding, and fun as you apply this wisdom to your own life.
And if you'd like us to give you personalized insight, please submit any questions you have on upcoming or current transits to thecelestialcirclepodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram at thecelestialcirclepodcast.
The circle is now open. Thanks for listening.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to another circle.
Yes. So today we are covering the energies and the transits for January. So we'll be looking at major astrological transits, energy shifts, how you can work with them, what to expect, etc. And then at the end, we're going to do a card pull to see like what the message is from Spirit for the collective for January, and we'll each like channel what that message is and share those messages. So make sure you stay tuned to the end.
Yes, welcome to our circle, and if you enjoy this time with us, we would highly appreciate your reviews, sending this off to your friends.
Yes.
Let's grow the circle space
Yes.
in 2026. It's a vibe.
And don't forget to send in any questions that you may or may not have.
Yes.
This one, probably people will send them after we do the other episode, so you don't know about it until now. But we're trying to record them like a month in advance, so like start thinking in that way. We can always cover like in the February one what your January question is, but if it's like about the transits in January, it might not be relevant until then.
Totally, because we're planning on doing reflection episodes anyways, like how do these transits actually impact us and reflecting back. So
you'll get more than one for January. It'll be like this one might be split into two, because let's face it, we talk a lot, and then we'll do like a recap episode like closer to the end of the month. That's like, what do we see in the world, in our lives, that like reflects the transit, so that you can like learn through those pieces. So if you're like listening, you're like, no, I had a question for January, it's okay, submit the question.
Totally, we want to hear your questions, so send them in, sit in the circle with us. All right, let's dive into January. Are you all ready for a completely new era?
I want to make a horse noise so bad.
We're entering a whole new era here in 2026.
Yeah, different energies. And if you're interested in learning more about the year's energies, come attend our free workshop. It's in both of our links in bio. It's in our podcast link in bio, so you can get the replay if you can't come live. But if you're like, what's the whole thing? What am I supposed to be doing in this year? Come attend that.
Yes, we would love to support you in this workshop, because we're going to be going over the major themes just on a collective level. Yeah. And then we're also going to be fine-tuning the very specific area of life where you are receiving the blessings from Jupiter. So you're going to want to know that.
Yeah.
Because how can you open to receive those blessings if you're just simply not aware of where they're going to be occurring? So that's why we want to hold this space for all of you.
It's like, how do I know what question to ask if I didn't know that I should ask a question? You know, like that type. We're trying to give you those pieces.
Yes. And again, like we said in our last episode, we're really wanting this to be more of a community-centric space. So and it fits in alignment with the Aquarian vibes. We're entering this year in obviously Capricorn season, but we're going to be moving into Aquarius season, which is all about the community. And later on in the year, we've got the North Node shifting into Aquarius. We've got Pluto in Aquarius. So this is really a time collectively where being in community with like-minded people, being in community with people where you are uplifted and supported and held is really essential in this time. So,
All right, what's the first transit?
Okay, well, do we want to talk about Pluto and Aquarius? Because I wrote a lot about Pluto and Aquarius. I don't know if we want to dive into that as like the undercurrent backdrop of what is.
Maybe just a little bit, because we'll cover it more in our like free workshop and stuff, and we'll talk about it. It's going to be there for like 20 years, right? So
are we talking about in our free workshop? It's going to be just very basic overview. So we can dive deep into it now if you want. We don't have to, but if you want, we can, because I have a lot to say about Pluto and Aquarius.
Well, we did like in 2025, we talked about it. Yeah. And then I think, I don't know, maybe a little bit.
Okay, well, basically, it is a period where we are restructuring power.
Yeah.
And aligning the power towards a community-centric vibe. So that's like just like a very basic overview, because Aquarius is really the medicine of innovation, progressive ideologies. It's the sign of the visionary. So Pluto there is transforming like our overarching collective systems. So
I think it'll be helpful if we look at like the other Pluto transits that we had right before this to kind of show people like how it might impact us as a collective, because I feel like the concept of like as a collective seems like ethereal to people. It's like, what do you mean as a collective? Like, okay, what about my life? You know, like we're not trained to see, especially in American society, we're an individualistic society. We're not a collective like some other cultures are. So we're not like thinking in terms of like, what does this mean for my community, for my family, for my legacy, for the world at large? And when we say the collective, it might not feel like it on an everyday level. Or we might not make those like connections from our daily life, but we are all here. We've all chosen to be born during this time, to exist on Earth during this time for a reason. So like on a soul level, every single human here, I have chosen to like be here with them. Like they are all in the same boat as I am. I'm not separate from them. I'm not different from them. Like we're all tasked with the same job. You know, like we all are supposed to keep humanity going and keep the earth going. And I think like, so Pluto Capricorn was the last one. The main thing that we saw, because Pluto is the planet of like illuminating the darkness and the truth and the taboo. It's a very scorpionic energy. So if you're familiar with Scorpio, it's similar. So it's like transformation, rebirth, death, taboos, unseen, unknown, mystery, fear pieces. It's Pluto is the underworld, right? Like Hades. So think about all those themes. And when we had it with Pluto and Aquarius, so like for the past 20 or so years, if you think about what's been going on from like 2000s to 2005 to like, was it 20 years? Maybe less than 20 years. Do you know the exact transit?
I don't know the exact dates because I didn't start studying astrology until 2017 was my initiation.
Okay, 2008 to 2024. There we go. I was close.
2008,
about 20 years. And then what we learned as a collective during that time, Capricorn is the bones of the body, right? So the structure, the underlying structure that we have in our society was illuminated. The truth of the underlying structures was illuminated. This is the time where we got that wool pulled off over our eyes and saw, wait, our government literally doesn't give a fuck about us. Our government is actively trying to kill us and actively trying to keep us poor and unhappy. Like we saw these fake false pieces. There was a lot of focus during this time on like conspiracy theories and like what is truly going on in the government, or the, you know, like there's a lot of people like really interested in like the aliens and like the testing and like what technologies and things. And it was just really a time where we realized like this structure is not serving us at all, right? And I think the end part of it was very poignant going through COVID. I feel like was really the piece that hit home for people. Like people are like, why am I being forced to go into work and have this shitty work life when I can do all of my work just as good, if not better, at home? Like, why am I peacocking and presenting this buying into this societal norm or structure when it doesn't even serve me. Like, I don't want to like live my life this way. Like, we had this time for internal respite, internal reflection, which like Capricorn season happens during winter. So it is a time when we're supposed to be going internally. And so we saw like this structure either in our own life or in the world around us is not the vibe. It's the truth that we saw about like we saw a lot around like climate and how we're treating the earth and how it's going to happen, and like we had a bunch of this stuff happen. So
yeah,
you know, like if we're going back to the previous one, Pluto and Sag, that one is like from 2008 to about 20 years, like Pluto Scorpio ended like 95. So like 96 to 2008. That was like the globalization, the birth of the internet, right? We were able to like take cultures and like make them available and exchange ideas. Like early internet was very wholesome, just learning, exchanging. It was silly, it was information. Lots of people were able to blow up really easily. We had that whole like global coffee house village, global village like aesthetic and trend, and we had like CDs and like new tech, like the flip phone, like all these like new technologies and things, making it easier to disseminate ideas. So we were like illuminating like philosophies, ideas, and exchange of informations with the Pluto Sag, right? So now with Pluto and Aquarius, this is a collective. It's like you might not feel like you're part of that, but like it impacted your life. Like I'm sure, I hope all these examples that I'm giving, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, oh, I see that. Like, oh, I interacted with that in some way, shape, or form, right?
Yes. Like a vision that I have that is very Pluto and Aquarius when we're discussing the realms of the collective is I really feel like humanity is one big, beautiful tapestry, and we're all these unique threads on the tapestry. And it's not a stagnant, just here's a tapestry. It's more of a holographic kind of vibe where it can constantly shift and ebb and flow as we connect with people here, and then we cut ties with people, and then it just rearranges and it's reorganizing. But the truth is we're all individual threads and we all have our unique individual gifts, but we're still operating in the oneness, in the collective. So yeah, and we're not alone. We're not meant to do this life alone. That's why when these things happen, they do impact us.
Yeah.
And that's the study of astrology, is we're experiencing these bigger transits, but they're impacting each of us on an individual level.
Yeah, like Aquarius rules the 11th house in astrology. So that's the house of community, friendships, humanity, belief in humanity. There's going to be a lot of themes, like a lot of astrologers have talked about, like it's going to be the death of celebrities and the rise of like healing and wellness and like actual systems that support us, not systems that we're like buying into, that they're trying to like sell us something or make us believe something, because that's kind of what celebrities do and are. It's like parasocial relationships. It's not real. It's an idea. It's fake. This person doesn't know that you exist. They don't know that you pine over them for 20 hours a week.
Yeah, it's like moving the power from the celebrity to the people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, very.
We've talked about this on the pod before.
Yeah. And like the also Aquarius is very like, if I don't buy into a system or an idea, then I just won't. Like you can't convince me, you can't like force me to do this. This is just not something that I see that benefits all. So why would I buy into that? So we're going to be seeing like a lot of shift in our structures in that kind of sense, where it's like Aquarius can be like rebellious and like ahead of the curve and this like freak to genius type of energy. So it's going to be a lot of like, we're going to try out new things and we're going to open up to new trends, and we're going to like confront the systems and processes that don't serve everyone or include people or create a space for all in humanity. I would say like my first example of this collectively is like I've been seeing there's like the trend of like particularly Gen Z people, doing those like coffee house raves. Have you seen those?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, like this is like a great example of Pluto and Aquarius. They're like, I want to have community and I want to like come together, but I want to do it intentionally. I don't want to get shit-faced drunk. I want to do it in the middle of the day and drink a little coffee and have a good time on my own terms, right? Like I want to partake in this, but this is the part that I don't like, and so I'm leaving that behind. This is better for humanity. Like this idea, it's like you can see the benefits and the values of like having this coffee house rave as opposed to like drugs, alcohol rave type culture. Not saying that that stuff is bad, but like it's better for your body to not go through all of those
100%.
things, right?
It is, yeah.
And you're actually going to meet people and remember who they are and all those things. So you'll be making more friends. But it's about intentional gathering. Community is intentional. And so I've been seeing that as like a rising trend. A lot of like Gen Z people like have been just getting like flip phones. We're seeing like this return to like arts and crafts, like realness type of stuff.
Yes. This is exactly why it is really important with Pluto and Aquarius to be very mindful of the groups that you're in, the people that you are surrounding yourself with, because on the flip side of that, we're also seeing the heavy amount of brainwashing happening in some communities. And so this is why the other side of Aquarius is willing to rebel. It's willing to question. It's willing to go against the perceived norm and go against the grain. So yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Lots of transformation. I did write about the historical context.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah, let's look at that.
American Revolution was the last time, so it completely restructured the system, and that's what we see with Pluto and Aquarius. It is a restructuring of power, a restructuring of the system, and that is because Aquarius medicine is fixed air, so it relates to the quality of the water bearer, like a cloud holding the water in that air like container, and then it is able to see things from this higher up perspective and see what is working in the system and what is not. And it kind of gives the vibe of a collective of people just saying like, we're fed up with this system. Like how can we generate a new way of being? Another time we saw the French Revolution as well, the collapse
favorite revolution
of the old order. Yes. I mean, people demanding equality, people demanding liberation, which is that Aquarius vibe, human rights emerging as a global concept. How beautiful. It's like everyone has a seat at the table. Everyone has this unique light, the thread on the tapestry. The Industrial Revolution, the birth of modern technologies. So we also see that with Pluto and Aquarius, transformation in the realms of technology. That's when we started to use like steam power and
now it's
machinery
AI.
And exactly. That's why on our last episode, I was sharing that I really don't feel like as a collective we can go backwards. So it's about operating from integrity and being willing to discern like what is truth. Because especially with the trine that Pluto is going to be making to Uranus moving through Gemini, it's like, whoa. There's a lot of information here, but what is true and what is not. So that's why we always gotta come back to the heart space.
Yes.
The Age of Enlightenment, the rebirth of collective intellect, science, education expanding, like the feeling of knowledge becoming more accessible is also the feeling. But again, the discernment piece is the key.
Yes, right? Because AI is making knowledge more accessible for people, but is it biased? Is it accurate?
Yes.
Is this thing that was generated by AI real that I'm even seeing?
100%. That's exactly why we've got to have that discernment and be willing to utilize the Aquarian medicine of the rebel, willing to question, willing to go against the grain.
Yes.
So in every example throughout history, what we've seen with Pluto and Aquarius transit is we're seeing technology, humanity, and power that story being rewritten and power being expanded to the collective voice, to all of us, to the people. So yeah, this is why I'm saying we are stepping into a new era, and this is only the beginning of that. Like it's only the doorway opening.
Yeah.
Because things are going to get real heated with Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, which we'll talk about. But it's happening. This new era, whether you're ready or not, it's here. So
embrace it.
Yeah. So some of the themes, again, it's like moving beyond the feeling of just me as the celebrity thing to the we consciousness.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, why does this one person more important than everybody else? Like,
because they're not. That's the truth of it.
They're just a regular human like everybody else.
Yes.
They should get just as many opportunities, just as many rights, just as many things as everybody else.
Like we've stated, people questioning the governments, corporations, institutions being questioned because people want the truth. That's a big theme. The integration of tech with our spirit, like that, the piece of integrity that I keep coming back to with the rise of AI. Yes, learning how to integrate it, but from a soul and heart-led perspective. There's also the shadow pieces of the collective that I've brought up here, the groupthink, the polarization, because the truth is we are more powerful when we can operate from a space of we have this shared ideology that we do not want people in power that are corrupt. Can we all agree on that? Like, seriously, can we all agree on that? So like the power of the groupthink is what Pluto is exposing here. And it's like the feeling of connecting to that progressive, futuristic way of thinking, so that the ideology of connecting to your future self, towards your next level identity, and then surrounding yourself with the community, the groups of people that are living those lifestyles that you're like, yeah, like that's for me in this lifetime. So it's sort of utilizing that visionary consciousness as well, because on a collective level, our soul missions are evolving for us all to step deeper into our true mission. So it's a 20-year initiation. For me, it's a 12th house initiation.
So if you have Aquarius in your chart, it's okay if you don't have placements, but you'll see what area of life, what house you have Aquarius will give you indication, like, how is this really going to personally impact me, or how will I be connecting to the collective piece of this? Like, what area of my life will I be like lit up to connect collectively and to work through these processes? And then, like, of course, if you have Aquarius placements, like, buckle up. This is your time.
All the Aquarius risings out there. I was thinking about the level of courage and bravery for a soul to sign up in this lifetime and say, yeah, I'm going to experience a Pluto in first house transit, because that is not something that everyone gets to experience.
That's in this so true. Life. I have a client that has a first house Aquarius stellium I'm thinking of. Like,
well, like, look at you, your soul, you were fucking brave as hell. Like, you chose
the Pluto Sag.
Pluto moved through your first house at like a really young age.
That's true.
Yeah.
From like 13
to
like, what did I say it was? 2000 till 2008?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying. Not everyone on a soul level chooses that. Because you think about like our Virgo risings,
they're just away from it.
Well, Virgo risings that were born after like 60 something.
Yeah.
And like Leo risings, right? Like they're not going to experience Pluto moving through their first house.
My mom's a Leo rising. This is this is raising my blood pressure here. I'm like, you son of a bitch. She should have experienced fucking Pluto in her first house. She needs it. The fuck? So angry now.
Yeah, because that is an intense transit.
But you know what? Frankie and I talk about all the time how we loved the Pluto and Sag. And we like want to go back to Pluto and Sag. Like, give me more of this shit.
Yeah, because it's the power expanded through truth. And that's why we saw in that era, like, so many beautiful, like, books were released, movies were released, people idolizing the fashion of that era.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, because of, like, the truth that resonates in it. So, yeah. But Pluto in a first house transit.
Yo, that kind of makes sense for the low-rise jeans during that time because it's, like, close to the thighs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Pluto moving through the first house for Pluto or for Aquarius risings.
Yeah.
Y'all are in for a transformation. I mean, there's no other way to sugarcoat that. Like, your essence...
You're sort of like a representative of what's going on collectively.
Yeah. Your energy, your essence, your identity, your personal goals, like, they're shifting during this time period. Your body is shifting.
Yeah.
Like, the people that are Capricorn risings, like, y'all know this. With Pluto moving through your first house, y'all know what it takes to go through the life death cycle, death cycles, the total transformation of yourself with Pluto moving through your first house. I was thinking about that because I'm like, 2044, baby, Pluto's coming for me in my first house.
Yeah, that's so interesting now that I think about it, though. It's like the Pluto Sag was like 96 to like 2000.
Yeah.
Okay, 2008. Is that what we said it was?
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, because when I was 13, I had that emergency surgery. So it's like...
That's what I'm saying.
That's when it would be back in my first house again, too.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. You
chose
as a soul to experience that, like, the courage and the bravery that it takes.
As a child, I guess it's cool. I didn't have to consciously do too much. I just lived through it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about this.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, Aquarius risings, like, if you are feeling just like your world is getting just turned upside down, like, give yourself grace because you're going through Pluto first house transit.
Protect your ankles.
Especially if you have early rising.
Yeah, right now you'll be getting it more if you're at earlier degree because it's like at 1 degree right now.
And it's moving through like 2 to 4 degrees throughout 2026. So it'll still be in that first decan of Aquarius, which is a decan ruled by Venus. It corresponds to the 5 of Swords in the tarot.
Where am I going?
So
early degrees, you're going to feel it hotter than later degrees.
Yes.
And then later degrees, you'll be feeling like it's like the movie It Follows. It's like just...
Oh, it's coming for you.
Like...
And you already probably feel it, Pluto in your first house, regardless of if it's hitting a point or not. Because Pluto is... It's obviously a frequency that takes time to integrate, right? Because we see that with Pluto's... Pluto, I think, takes 248 years to make a complete cycle. So we think about that. That's like the slow emergence of the lessons being integrated, the shifts that are subtle sometimes, but also really powerful sometimes. Yeah. So I mean, just embrace the transformation. So if something is not working for you, like, let it die. Do not try to continue to like force. I think Pluto really teaches us that, and that is because Pluto is the keeper of alchemy, right? How to move through transformation and let things go so that you can be reborn, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Like that is Pluto consciousness.
Also, I can't stress the ankles piece. It's like circulatory system, ankles.
Yes.
I had this client came to my Sag new moon ceremony. They were Aquarius rising, Aquarius sun, Aquarius Mars, and they had Aquarius Uranus conjunct their rising. And I was like, have you hurt your ankles? And They were like, I've had multiple surgeries on my
Yeah.
ankles because I've broken both of my ankles. I was like, that's your
Wow.
Aquarius conjunct your
Yeah.
rising, or your Uranus conjunct your rising. It's like constantly shifting and changing in your body, and like Aquarius rules the ankles. So I was like, yeah, yikes.
Oof.
So just be careful, y'all. Like when Saturn moved back into Pisces, because Pisces rules the feet, that's when I hurt my foot.
Yeah.
And I have Saturn natally in my chart in Pisces. So it's like, just be careful around this time. Stretch. I think also the ankle is like a great analogy of what you were talking about, because it's like, it's the piece that helps us move forward. It's the piece that helps us calibrate. And like, yeah, we have Capricorn as the bones, but like the ankle is that hinge point.
Yes. And that makes me think about the Aquarius card, the Seven of Swords, where the head is looking behind, the torso is in the present moment, and then the feet are towards the future.
Yeah. Very Aquarius.
Yes. Yeah. It really is a time period of, on a archetypal level, like Pluto moving through Aquarius, it is initiating liberation, like through breaking people out of outdated ideologies. Like it really is like such a liberating frequency, but on a collective level, it feels like on a collective level we've got to come together to organize.
It's the house of community. Like we can't do this on our own.
Yes. So it really is asking us the question of, what future are we here to birth on an individual level and on a collective level? What future, what's the world that we all want to live in? Because I know right now where we're at, it's like, this is not acceptable. Like this isn't the world that I want to live in, where so many people just feel disconnected from
where the systems and structures don't support us. That's what Pluto Capricorn showed us.
Yeah.
Like none of this shit is built to help you at all. It's built to help a small percentage of people.
Yeah.
And they don't really need the help. They have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we will see what comes of that. Another thing with Pluto moving through Aquarius risings, their first house, I was going to say how important it is to embrace like your unique eccentric style and like the way that you move through the world, because you're here to be original. You're like us in Aquarius rising, and like let Pluto moving through your first house awaken that transformation where
the authentic part of you comes out.
Yes. Like you're just like fully liberated, fully in that like eccentric, like whatever you want to wear, however you want to move through the world, how you want to do your hair. Like,
I have a friend that's a triple Aquarius, and like he wears like the most amazing like clothes and outfits and things.
Yes. Yeah, because you are the innovators. Like you have that frequency in your body, in your essence, how you move through the world. So
Yeah.
I wanted to begin with that because this is really the underlying current. And again, it's a slow moving transit, but it is important.
It's going to be marinating over time.
It's important to know where Pluto is occurring, like where is Pluto transiting for you in your own natal chart, so you can understand like what is the transformation. And I feel like the Pluto 12th house for me is a transformation in the realms of the unconscious. It's in the last episode I was sharing about how like now I'm more present and aware in my dream time, and like letting that be something that I'm moving through. And it also feels like I'm meant to be a figure of power, like the Plutonian power within the realms of the mystery. So I'm really excited for all the things like Love and I are going to be birthing, like, because that is really in alignment with that frequency of like holding that space of power and the realms of the unseen and the mystery. So I'm
going to be speaking a
a
lot. More than normal. What? How is that possible? You have Gemini Mercury. Get ready.
Yeah.
You get 20% of the things that are in my brain. Now you're going to get all of them.
Yes. Yeah, oh my gosh. Imagine the power in your voice. Like by the end of this transit, you're going to be speaking on stages to hundreds of people.
I hope so.
Do you feel that? I feel that for you.
No.
Matt, like your voice, like the power of your voice.
I feel like I'm going to reach a lot of people in some way, shape, or form, for sure.
That's what I mean. Like your voice just being like amplified in its power.
I love it. I'm supposed to. I love
it. So that's what I mean for all of you listening. Like, tune in. Like, if Pluto's moving through your second house, you're being transformed in the realms of finance and the material realm, and maybe you're releasing attachments to certain material items, or you're transforming your sense of value. Pluto moving through the fourth, that's
family. Family lineage, family structures, like family ideologies, like traditions. You might be like, fuck this, I don't want to be part of this like system or cultural thing or religious thing. Maybe a lot more like communes, communal living themes. We're gonna need to see like communities supporting each other in the home space,
which I think is an overarching Aquarius vibe anyways, of like the community coming together.
Like I want to see more like there was a store that I saw on the internet where it was like a tool library, so you could like come and check out a tool and use it and then bring it back instead of having to buy a bunch of tools, so that you know, like more of those types of things. I feel
sharing the resources, because everyone doesn't need to buy all those tools and then just have them sit in their garage.
So you can use it like one time. It's so dumb.
That's capitalism.
That's capitalism, baby.
Okay, moving on. Our next transit, super important, Saturn in Pisces. Another transit, Saturn in Pisces, the last full month of Saturn moving through Pisces. Whew, that means it's the last full month of your Saturn return.
But then it's going into my 5th house of Aries where my moon is. So whatever, dude. I'm not getting a break anyways. I know I have a late degree moon, but like still.
Oh my gosh, Saturn moving through your 5th house. Like that's Saturn saying, hey, like take your creative projects more seriously.
I just feel like I'm going to get a head injury instead of a foot injury.
No.
Like, fuck.
Saturn on the moon, though.
That'll be at the end.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because I have like a 25 degree moon.
Yeah. But I feel like that's actually going to be a really good transit.
I hope so, dude. Like, help give me the structure I need to get my creative shit together.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been feeling that. Like, next year, I'm like...
Yes. Yeah, because you're wrapping up your Saturn return.
Yeah, I think I'm finally understanding, like, the last bit of it, too.
Yeah.
So, that's really nice.
That's the whole thing with our Saturn return, is we're meant to learn the lesson and actually integrate it. Like, take responsibility. Saturn is the karmic contract you signed. Like, you signed the karmic contract of having this, like, figure of authority in your roots.
Sure, I don't mind doing that part. Yeah.
That and Saturn in Pisces, this transit, has been activating those lessons.
Yeah. It's been kind of cool, and the fun part, like, I've had, like, friends and family be like, I need to talk to you about this. Can you help me with this, please? Yeah. Like, you're the one that I know you'll have the answers. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Yeah, because it's, like, in your roots. You've got that,
yeah.
Saturn, solid...
Still learning boundaries.
Structure. Yeah. That's what we're, as a collective, Saturn moving through Pisces, like we're wrapping up lessons around the spiritual discipline, emotional maturity, the collective mysticism, the collective energy related to spirituality, and then the boundary.
Do you think that the last bit of the Saturn in Pisces is attached to like the really hyper religious people and like all of their like agendas and propagandas, or do you think that they're just like preying on that part and benefiting from it?
I think that is a question that there's a lot of nuance there, because that goes back to when these systems started to emerge on a societal level, and it really was for an agenda of power. And it's really sad to think about how many souls were forced to remove themselves from their indigenous belief systems and ideologies, and then move into this system for survival.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Saturn and Pisces transit, it only amplified that, like what has already been happening for centuries. And then the Neptune and Pisces just like completely and we've seen that now, because now we're living in times of Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
It's like, but do you think it's like once it moves to Aries, it'll kind of be like petering out?
I think once it moves to Aries, we're going to start seeing the collective shift into your own individual approach to mysticism and spirituality. I think that we're going
I like that instead of like an organized structure.
Instead of like, let me give you the
rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then instead it's like people turning to their individuality around what feels good and like taking bits and pieces, right? Because there are things within like certain ideologies that like resonate with me. I mean, it's like taking bits and pieces, but I wouldn't say that I have one particular practice or lineage. Like I really just take little bits and pieces of what resonates with me, and like I have my own connection to spirit from that. And I feel like that's what we're going to start seeing on a mass collective level, is people trusting their own instinct, because that's what Aries is. It's a sign of the instinct. And
so what do you think is the challenge as we wrap up the Saturn in Pisces?
I think it's really like a frequency around emotional closure. Like I feel like the challenge is on a collective level to take responsibility of like the depths of those emotions, because Pisces is a mutable water sign, so it's oceanic consciousness. It is vast,
no boundaries.
But then Saturn says like take responsibility over your own connection with your emotions, or take responsibility over your own connection to spirituality and your devotion, because Saturn in Pisces is a discipline that speaks to like, can you trust in the ever unfolding unknown? Can you trust in the ever unfolding mystery? Can you have faith? But that is a discipline, and that's the Saturn piece of like continue to come back to this practice and devote yourself to it. So I think we're going to start seeing that. I think it's also going to bring up like this collective grief clearing, because Pisces is so deep, and Pisces feels like the depth of sadness, and again, it's a sign of oneness. So I feel like Saturn at that last degree of Pisces is bringing up some kind of like, all right, here's the final shedding of the emotion, right? So I feel like things are going to be coming up around that. And yeah, I feel like it is really, again, a sign of all of us collectively on an individual level saying like, this is me taking accountability and responsibility over my connection to the unseen realms, which is going to look different for every person.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's absolutely needed for Saturn moving into Aries, because it's going to be heightening.
Yeah, because if you're doing your own thing, you need to like address like your accountability or the faith or like power that you gave to certain systems, so that you can like recall and do your thing.
Oh, another thing I was meditating on for this final wrap up for a collective lesson is this idea of spiritual bypassing. Like that being something that we really saw, especially with the Neptune Pisces.
I was going to say that's more Neptune Pisces.
And then heightened with the Saturn and Pisces of the like, this is what we've talked about before, like the love and light, and
attaching to structures and systems that like serve you in the here and now, but don't serve you in the future or the collective or the betterment of your soul. They just like allow your ego to keep doing whatever it is that it was doing without question and change and growth.
Yes. So I feel like there's some kind of a reckoning with the things that we've been bypassing on a spiritual level. Spirit is saying like that is coming up to the surface.
Yeah, because Aries confronts everything head on. So once we see that shift in February, like there's no more like daydreaming it.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be like, okay, if that's what you believe, then like put your money where your mouth is, you know?
So we'll talk more about Saturn moving
for the February
into
one.
Aries because that'll be in February.
Yeah.
But this will be the last full month of Saturn moving through Pisces. So if you have Saturn
enjoy it
Pisces,
if you did.
You know, congratulations after this month.
Yay!
You will have completed your Saturn return because Saturn is going to retrograde back into Pisces.
Number one.
Not
then
until
I have a
29
year break.
So you'll be good. I think it's really about like again taking accountability over your emotions and then setting those emotional boundaries when they're aligned. So
yeah, because I think like the learning that I did between the last episode that we recorded and this one, we talked a lot about the Saturn in Pisces and my Saturn return, and I said there was still some pieces that I was learning with like time management with clients and things, and I think that I had this like on the Sag new moon I had this big like chat and I like got all the I've been struggling with like the structure in my business, the work-life balance, the boundaries with clients, and all for more than a year, but all year. And I felt like I finally just was like, okay, there's this thing, there's that thing, there's this thing, there's that thing. And it felt like this big nebulous like thing that I couldn't figure out. And the more I like talked it through, then I was like, oh, like this is where I'm like creating this belief of like not having enough time and space. Like this is where I'm contributing to like not using my time properly because you know Saturn is the lord of time. So it's like for me it's like time is fake because I have Saturn in Pisces. It's like this time is one long piece. It's not little minutes and hours and days. So like I definitely had like a lot of breakthroughs around like where I'm creating or feeding into fear that I can't take this time or I can't make this change or I can't set this boundary, especially in my business. Because I feel like I did pretty good with my personal life because it's in my 4th house. So it's like I've been dealing with this my whole life. So yeah, hopefully that helps other people too. Because I feel like it was like, oh, well, I can't. And then the more I was talking, I was like, oh, it's just me saying that I can't.
That's really valuable. And I also feel like Saturn in Pisces teaches us the value of creating a life where we have the structure in place, where we have time with that resonates with what you just said of time doesn't exist. So it's like creating a structure where you have like this podcast, right? It's like we could go on talking for 3 hours and it's in a portal where it's like we just keep going, right? Because we love to talk about this stuff. And I feel like Saturn in Pisces, and I feel this so deeply because I am a 0 degree Pisces rising, and Saturn rules over that first decan of Pisces, so from 0 to 9 degrees. So I live in this. Like this is my embodiment. The 8 of Cups is my embodiment card. Like that is my life's work is to walk into the mystery constantly and just be in the frequency of trust. So I think that Saturn in Pisces also teaches us the value of what it means to have time where you're just lost in play, lost in mysticism, lost in that connection.
Yes. That's sort of what I needed to see was like I need to create more space for that.
Exactly.
Because I was like, all the things that I want to do and the big projects, I'm not making any time for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just creating distractions and procrastination so that I'm like constantly busy instead of like approaching the big work at hand that will like build the success or be able to share what on a large scale, what I want to share with the world.
Yes. So.
That's why I was like, you hear me, Saturn? I get it.
Yeah.
Please, can you stop making my foot hurt? It's like, damn.
I'm actually really excited for Saturn to finally be out of my first house. I'm very grateful like for those lessons, especially for me around like really taking accountability and responsibility for the fact that my soul is here to be a spiritual guide. I am here to be that like Pisces rising spiritual leader, and Saturn moving through my first house was like, well, organize your money, like get your finances together. And I love that because I feel like it's setting me up so beautifully for the Saturn moving through my second house with the Saturn in Aries. So how was the Saturn in Pisces transit for you? Let us know. What house was it in? Was it activating any of your personal planets?
Yeah. Do you have any questions about lessons that you might need to distill or might need to learn that you're still struggling with? If you want to double check that you understood what your Saturn in Pisces was telling you, let us know.
Yes.
Like, what's your rising? What's your birth time? All the things, whatever you want to give us. And where's your Saturn in Pisces?
Yes. Yeah, we'd love to hear if you have any stories too around how your placement of Saturn in Pisces really showed up for you during your Saturn return.
Yeah, because we're seeing this as a community circle space, so it's not just asking us and we're like giving you advice or helping you, but maybe you just are like, this is what happened to me, and if somebody else is listening, then I want to share this as a win or a challenge or whatever that you learned, so that we can kind of like share that we'll share those in our like wrap up thing. So if you're like, finally did this, stepping into this, figured out this, whatever it is, like we can share that in our wrap ups and be like, oh, this, person has Saturn Pisces in this house and this is what they learned and blah, 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 blah.
Yes. All right, let's move on. We've got the beginning of this year. We've got the Sun, Mars, and Venus all moving through Capricorn.
Love it.
What a vibe.
What kind of vibe? Yeah, we're going to have a lot of drive, a lot of energy pushing us. And most of the time we have the Venus and Sun and Capricorn around this time anyways, because they don't travel that far apart. But so we're going to feel very, very, very goal-oriented, action-oriented, structure-oriented, change-oriented, like setting yourself up for success, looking like planning things out like setting up the structure that you need. Because, we are moving from Saturn in Pisces into Saturn in Aries, but Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. So we're having a lot of Saturnian energy in January.
Yes.
I think like the Mars is how you do things, how you take action, what motivation you have. The Sun obviously is like how we're showing up in the world, how we're shining in our gifts. And then Venus is what we care about, our morals, our values, how we give and receive, what aesthetics we're attracted to. Yeah. So all of these things are coming together under that Capricorn lens. Capricorn is like the mountain goat. One little hoof at a time, we are going to scale that mountain. And we're going to do it by mapping out our steps and making sure that we're not, picking uneven ground or whatever, but we'll overcome whatever obstacle is put in front of us. Like mountain goats are like expert mountain climbers.
Yes. Yeah, and Mercury will also be there as well. So we've got a lot of Capricorn
communicating that too.
Frequency, and we'll talk about later on in the month. We've got a beautiful Capricorn new moon that's going to support you in setting those intentions for that long-term future planning, structuring your life to accomplish those goals, because Capricorn medicine really does teach us that, how to plan long-term and craft our own unique legacy.
Yes. Yeah, like I have a friend from college that's a Capricorn, and like she was in fashion and she was like, I want to be a stylist, and she like worked hard, and she's in the Forbes 30 under 30, and she is like she has a school that she travels around the world to teach people styling. She does like these luxury vacation experiences now. She does celebrity styling. She's like teaching in all these places. Like it's just like that's Capricorn to the max energy. Like I'm gonna do it. Here's my plan. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take every opportunity I can, and I'm gonna go there. Yeah. Like I love it. I love her so much. Shout out to Brittany Diego if you want to look her up.
And it's a very practical sign. It's like, I have this bigger dream and vision, the long-term goal, but Capricorn is like, I obviously know that might not happen for me overnight. That it's going to
Yes.
take the effort, the
Yes.
discipline, the commitment, continuing to show up and to take those steps.
Yes. I saw this
Yeah.
breakdown that was like, everybody says like, oh, Capricorn cares about money. Capricorn cares about achieving their goals, and Capricorn is realistic and practical.
Yes.
And Capricorn understands that in our modern capitalistic society in 2026, that's what you need is money. Like, it's not that Capricorn is money hungry or money centered. They just understand,
Yeah.
like, if I want to achieve my goals, this is what I need to do to achieve those goals. And if I don't know, then I'll figure it out. I'll make a plan.
Yes.
I'll ask for help, whatever it is. Like, they're
Yeah.
very determined because they're ruled by Saturn. Saturn teaches us, like, all you have to do is take forward action. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad or if it accomplishes the goal or whatever, as long as you're moving forward in some way and you're trying in some way.
Yes.
And I think that's why Capricorns are so successful, because they
Yes.
understand that we have to just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yes. And Capricorn is that grounded, practical, has that side, but I also feel like it has a deeply spiritual and mystical side as well, because its animal is the sea goat. Like, that is like,
It's not real.
Like, it is a sea
What's a
goat.
sea goat? I've never met one.
So I like to think about how in the realms of the unconscious in the sea, those are our deeper dreams, right? Like, those are like what's stirring in our subconscious. And it really is the medicine of, okay, here's this dream in the subconscious. And Capricorn says, how can we pull that dream out and then take it step by step to make it come to life?
Yeah.
So it's a really deeply mystical,
very versatile energy. Like
Yes.
an amphibious vehicle. I can drive in the sea and on land.
yeah. And wherever I'm at, I'm going to be determined and motivated to accomplish this goal. So it's a beautiful time for that long-term thinking. And because Capricorn rules the structure of our body, the bones in our body, it is a really good time to ask yourself, like, what systems in your life are supporting those long-term goals and what systems are not? And then how can you re-optimize the systems that you've got going on in your life?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, New Year's is still like,
Yeah.
January is still winter, so it's like, make the plan.
Yeah.
Right? You don't maybe need to take action until like February, maybe end of March type, when we have like actual New Year's. But yeah, make the plan, reassess. Don't beat yourself up. It's just a means to an end. Like, did this go well? Do I want to do it again? Do I like this? Do I want to keep adding it to my life, or do I want to subtract it from my life? It's not like, oh, I made a mistake and I shouldn't have been focusing on this. No, we're not doing that. We're just looking at what is and what can be and how can we get there.
Yes. And structured planning too. It's like taking that plan and then again making it so grounded and practical and being realistic with yourself around what you have the capacity for.
Yeah. So in college, I was like a freshman peer advisor, and we taught like a intro class for freshmen to acclimate into college. And we taught them SMART goals. It's like an acronym. So each letter stands for something, but that if you want to Google, like, how do I set a goal that like I can actually accomplish? Like, you can use the SMART goal system. That's like the less woo-woo one. But it's basically like, M is like measurable, like, you know, trackable, like you have to set a goal that's like, I can accomplish this in a certain amount of time. I have a measure of my success. Like, I have the time to do it. I have the resources. Like, if it feels like too big of a gap for you to like jump, then break it down into smaller pieces and don't try and jump this whole gap at once. Jump that little first piece. And then that way you're moving forward each little by little piece that you're getting towards, versus if you stay in that, I just need to get this huge leap. I just need to gear up for this huge leap. You're never going to do the huge leap. It's too much and it's not sustainable. And Capricorn teaches us that. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Like, sustainable, incremental, integrated change is more impactful than just doing a big old thing. Like, it's going to be hard to go like 180 because you'll regress. You haven't built the systems to support yourself to keep doing the new choice. You just made the new choice and now you're like, oh no, I'm scared and now I'm going to go back inside and I'm just going to regress. But if you made the incremental tiny changes that weren't as drastic, then you'll see that. It's like losing weight, you know, like you could get liposuction and lose all the weight, but you didn't do anything to shift your lifestyle. So you're probably going to gain the weight back.
That
or
happens all the time.
right.
Also, yeah.
Or you can eat right and you can work out and you can do that over time, and then you'll be able to keep the weight off because you shifted your lifestyle intentionally.
Yes. Love it. We never released this episode. We probably never will. It's going to stay in the archives, but I love we did our chart together. So there's a method called the Davidson relationship chart, and it basically takes your chart and someone else's chart and creates a chart together in real space and time that shows the purpose of like two souls in a relationship. And our chart together was Cap rising, which I love.
I always forget that shit.
That's been our energy though. It's like slow, consistent, long-term planning. Like,
structure, yeah. Yes. That makes a lot of sense actually.
So, okay. Capricorn season, and our next thing we're going to talk about January 2nd. We have Chiron moving direct at 22 degrees of Aries. Ooh,
it's been there for the latter half of the year.
Chiron has been on my sun. I have my sun at 23 degrees.
Yeah, it's been on my moon, bro. 25.
Oh.
I love it here.
It's been a lot. So
I feel like I've done a lot of work internally, emotionally this year.
Oh my gosh, especially on, for me, a second house sun on worthiness. Like
my creativity, yeah, that makes sense. My desires, my passions, for sure.
Like, let me just show up in my gifts and know that I'm worthy to receive.
Yeah, so what is Chiron for people that are like, the fuck? Chiron is an asteroid, and it's considered or known as the wounded healer. So Chiron illuminates another deep like wound or karmic wound that we carry in this lifetime. Everyone has Chiron somewhere in their natal chart. But then again, when we have these transits, it can be illuminating certain placements for you, or just collectively illuminating wounds that need to be healed.
Yes.
And throughout the past few like full and new moons of the last part of 2025, like Chiron has been kind of like a big game player in creating aspects to the different placements.
Yeah.
So
when we had the nodal axis in Aries and Libra.
Yes. Yeah. So we're definitely seeing this collective like healing that's being called upon you. And then again, if you have like later degree Aries placements in January,
or even
that's
cardinal
going to
sign placements.
Yeah, the Libra. Chiron's if you have Libra later degrees, that's going to be oppositional energy for you. And then, the squares for the other ones. Yeah, for Cancer, Capricorn.
Yeah. So, Chiron stationing direct in Aries is going to be healing wounds around identity, belonging, visibility, and wounds around taking the lead, because Aries is a sign of leadership. It is the first sign of the zodiac. It is a trailblazer. So Chiron moving forward and moving direct, as a collective, we are receiving the medicine around like what it means to be seen, like fully in our gifts, like releasing any inherited survival patterns that say like stay small, don't be seen, don't take the lead, don't step forward. It is really the frequency of becoming your own inner warrior, your own inner protector. And that was something that I was really meditating on with the Neptune Aries transit.
I was going to say, it's going to be like adding on to those themes when we get that.
Yes, because we are in times right now where that frequency in your psyche, embodying your own inner warrior, especially in the realms of spirit and like everything that's being thrown at us with like the rise of technology and all of that, like having that protective mechanism built in, especially to stay strong in your essence, to stay strong in your identity and who you are and your unique mission. That is really what this transit is illuminating. So it's aligned with like renewed activism, sovereignty, breakthroughs in trauma psychology. It's really a time where we're saying like, step up into your power, like Chiron moving forward.
Yeah.
Embrace your inner warrior.
If you have Aries placements especially late degrees, like this will be illuminating wounds for you. So if you've been like, what the fuck? Like, why am I feeling? That's why. And it's funny you were talking about that because like Spirit was sharing, because like for you, you're one line, you like study, you've memorized all these pieces. For me, Spirit just shows me a thing and I talk about it. I mean, I've obviously memorized a lot of these pieces, but not studying as deeply as you have. So I'm like, what the fuck? Can you synthesize this? And then Spirit's like, here. They were showing like this warrior, like an indigenous warrior, like getting like this fire in them and like rising their weapon up and like yelling and moving forward. Like I really feel like it is that part of ourselves that's going to be like healed or being illuminated so that we can heal it in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, 100%. Because you came here to be yourself. Like you came here to be your own unique individual. Again, what we were talking about earlier, your thread on the tapestry, that is your light. Your light is sacred.
Yeah, and if you're giving away your power and you're letting somebody else be your voice, you're letting somebody else, you know, push forward with your energy, you're lending to a system that doesn't support, then you need to reclaim that and like tap back into what do I want to fight for? What is important for me in this life, in this world, in this time that I'm in right now?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So now,
I do want to say as a caveat, this happens a lot when I'm talking about these types of placements, like karmic placements in astrology for people. A karmic placement, the way that Western people understand karma is like, just throw that fucking shit out of the window. It's not real. It's like some weird bastardization of like India karma, which don't pretend that you know what that is. You're white. You're not in an Indian society. Okay. The way that Spirit shows karma is not like, you know how like in Western it's like, you did that and that's your karma, or like they hurt me so I'm gonna hurt them back so that they can get their karma. Like karma is not a thing that an individual takes into their own hands. Karma is a system that is like the yin and yang, like balance of the universe. It is contracts that are made on soul levels. It is through your actions throughout a lifetime, and we don't often deal with karma that we create in this lifetime in the same lifetime. Sometimes it carries over from past lives. A lot of the time it carries over from past lives or ancestral lineages. So a lot of the time when I'm explaining this to people, they're like, I don't know, like what karmas do I have around this? I can't really think of anything like consciously in my brain. And if that's the case, it's probably an ancestral or a past life karma. So you might have things being illuminated that can cause like upsetness or discomfort or like unease or tension that you're like, where is this coming from? So if that's the case, it's probably from something in your past or some contract or something that you're now becoming aware of because you're ready to be aware of it. So don't freak out if that's the case, or if you're like, I can't really pinpoint the like root cause of this or the moment in my life that created this, but like I feel it or I believe in it, then it might be from like ancestral or it might be from like past lives.
Exactly. And that's why we do this work, right? Is to illuminate those pieces because we can carry this stuff around unconsciously, and then it's just perpetuating these patterns that can be helpful and they can be unhelpful. It's about navigating how to like work with these frequencies, because it's all about a journey of evolution, right? Like we're like, when people think about karma, I think a lot of times there's like a negative connotation to it. Like, oh, like that's like my karmic thing. But I also feel like there's so much beauty in gifts.
Yeah, you can have positive karmas. Saturn, you did good things, you get blessings,
Saturn
right?
on my ascendant, I feel that way because I'm like...
Yeah, he's the Lord of Karma, right? I read this thing online that was really sick. This astrologer was like, when people like hurt you or betray you, the karma that they get from you is whatever your Saturn placement is. And I was like, oh,
mine's intense then.
Because your first house, it's like your whole essence is getting fucked if you betray me.
Saturn and I have
your 12th house.
The 12th.
Your subconscious, like
that's what I mean.
Nightmares in your dreams and for the rest of your life, bitch.
Saturn and his preferred domicile and rejoicing.
He's like
in the 12th
he's
house.
Like Freddy Krueger, and they're like, go to sleep, bitch. Yeah, mine's in the 4th house, so it's like if you mess with me, your family, your home, your ancestry. And actually, I tested that theory. I was like, who are the people who have betrayed me or like fucked me over in this lifetime? And yeah, their home life is fucked.
Damn.
So
That's actually wild. But I also feel like Saturn can teach us how to mend and create right relations, right? And that's not always going to occur in this lifetime, right? Especially when there are situations where there
it takes
has
time.
been lots of harm perpetuated. But
or maybe I feel like sometimes it's like you have to wait till the closing of your life to see the completion of that. It's like, because if I fuck someone over, but then I atone for it or I make amends throughout my life, then like that should be well and done with, right? Like I shouldn't be carrying that much into the next lifetime. If in the person that I hurt, in their eyes I atoned, not my eyes, in their eyes I atoned, or in spirit's eyes I atoned. You know, like it's not for us to decide. That's what the Western thing that I'm like, it's not you don't decide your karma. And you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna do this for good karma. Like that's not it's like fake. It's like it's not real. Like you're not doing it because you care, because unless you're like trying to teach yourself to make better choices that are like humanity focused or whatever. But like it's all about the intention. So I just think the way people are like, this is your karma. Like you're not God. Like you're not the universe. Like you don't get to dole out the karma. But like your Saturn placement, you can see how the karma comes for them.
So interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Now we're going to move
January
into
3rd.
January 3rd. Woo! Our first lunation of 2026.
Yes. Full moon in Cancer.
Big and emotional.
Yes.
At 13 degrees, a decan ruled by Mercury, happening in relation with the Three of Cups in the tarot.
Community and collaboration, rejoicing, communicating, sharing wins.
So emotional to me.
Well, like Cancer's emotional, so.
It feels really emotional because it's happening in a wide orb conjunction to Jupiter exalted. And anytime we have a Cancer moon, the ruler of the lunation is the moon. So it's like a heightened emotional frequency. And then Jupiter is just, like, amplifying all of the feeling state, all of the emotions.
It feels like if you're listening to your feelings and you're like moving through them, that the Jupiter piece will have this like really beautiful release freedom feeling of like, oh, I let this go, and like, oh, I have all this space in my body and this feels good. Like it's being pulled out of me. But it feels like if you don't listen to your emotions and your needs and you don't communicate those things, like it feels like it'll be like this big spotlight, this headache that's like like in your mind, kind of like you have to deal with, like it's like emotional drunk hangover, like
because the full moon is pouring all of that light for you to experience those emotions and recognize that they're there and then do the process of release. And full moons are beautiful for bringing that illumination and then bringing that release. So allowing yourself to be in the process of that release. And it's so interesting that it's happening when we have all of this Capricorn frequency going on, which is all about long-term planning like we were discussing. But Cancer is the home. It's the roots. It's our ancestry. It's the nourishment. Past. It's belonging. It's nostalgia. So I was really meditating on how this Cancer full moon reminds us that the structure of our lives must serve systems of safety, right? Feeling safe. And this is something that I feel like I continue to come back to because it does feel like it's rooted in a lot of my mission in this lifetime is to create spaces of safety for people. But this full moon just feels like it is illuminating that. Like, what are the structures in your life that support the feeling of safety, that support the feeling of you being safe enough to even process and go into those emotions? And
well, because our society like creates the exact opposite, tries to teach us that we can't do that and there's no space for that and it's not even an option available to us. So like all this intense like shift that we're going to go through collectively, like this is going to be a great, like you need to learn how to cultivate safety and like have a little respite, like a sanctuary, you know,
Yes.
emotionally for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. So Cancer rules the chest, right? So an activity you could do would be like maybe like journal, and then you could like tap on your chest, you know, put an oil, rub your chest, a lotion, rub your chest, and like move through your feelings, like read your journal out loud, talk it out with someone that you trust or you feel safe with, or like just explore and express those emotions. The tapping on the chest is like to connect to the Cancer piece, but it's a way to process emotions so that your nervous system can stay present and process the feelings faster and release them.
Yes, I feel like the expression and the communication piece is essential because, again, it's happening in the decan ruled by Mercury, and it's that Three of Cups energy. And when I think about that card, I mean, clearly we're seeing the frequency of celebration happening, and it's present. It's three women that have gathered and their cups are in the air. But I also like to think about how, because the moon is constantly shifting and moving, every 2-3 days she's moving through a different sign. It's like that is our emotional wavelength, our emotional capacity. And the Three of Cups is that frequency of I can bring any emotion that I have to these people that are going to support me within anything that I'm feeling. And so I think that that is really beautiful to have those spaces where you can be in the full expression of whatever it is that you're feeling. Like that is really essential for this full moon. Is it feels like this major collective emotional release paired with the Saturn and Pisces at that last degree, this like collective grief washing emotional energy. It just feels so heavy, but also like the relief that comes.
That's what I was saying, like the like pulling out of your body, the relief.
Yes.
Another thing that I saw for the Three of Cups could be like coming together with different versions of yourself, right? Like if I'm exploring my emotions and I'm expressing my truth, or I'm creating some kind of beautiful art piece around this, like I'm creating in some kind of way, like processing through art. Maybe I'm talking to all the past, present, future versions of myself, or the past, because Cancer rules the past. So like looking to like past versions of myself that like maybe have been carrying these emotions or dealt with these emotions, and like helping them process and release it. Maybe you can do like some cool like expressive abstract art where you just like are getting your feelings out, you know, like that's also a somatic thing, is like large scale like full body art helps us like process our emotions better. So getting like a poster board or a butcher paper and just like drawing in different colors and different like textures can help us process a lot easier. Like doing something like that, or maybe you take like old photos of yourself and then you turn that into an art thing, or you journal, or you have a conversation, communicate to that part of yourself that has been holding this wound.
Yes, I was meditating with that Cancer full moon, illuminating some emotional story for the inner child, because it does connect us to our ancestry. So I was meditating with, okay, this full moon is bringing up this question of like, what does my inner child need to shed, need to release, need to let go,
or my family lineage.
100%.
If you're the cycle breaker.
Because Jupiter moving through Cancer is bringing us luck, in that is bringing us the like abundance of what it means to look at the ancestral patterns and be aware of the gifts that are present there, but also shed the patterns that are no longer in alignment with where we're at in the present moment and where we desire to go for our future. Because that's the medicine of the Cancer and the Capricorn being on that same axis. So and it is opposing Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, all here in Capricorn. We've got a lot. So it really is like
healing versus
in order to move forward in the bigger plans and the dreams and the ambitions that you have, you can't allow yourself to be stuck in the nostalgia of how it used to be, or longing for that the way that it used to be, or you can't stay with those emotions that are stuck in the body.
You're gonna have to let them go, process them, turn them into something else.
And we have collective support with this too, because another aspect with this lunation is that it is in a trine to the North Node in Pisces and in a sextile to the South Node in Virgo. So it feels like as a collective, when we do process and we move through these emotions and we allow ourselves to feel really nourished, to feel safe, then we are moving forward in the collective destiny as well with this lunation touching the nodal axis. So.
And we might have like feelings coming up around the collective being safe and not feeling safe right now.
100%.
And maybe that's something that you can fold into your full moon practice. Doing a prayer, doing some kind of activism or work, whatever it is that feels good. It's mostly emotional. So like doing some journaling and prayer around the people that don't have safety or access to safety right now.
Yes. And how can we as a collective cultivate safety as each of us individually take action towards these bigger goals?
That's ultimately the Three of Cups, right?
Exactly, because they're all in that circle space together. It's like your goals might be similar to mine, but again, we're all unique individual threads on this tapestry. So by me reaching those goals, it's also like that it does not take away from anyone else reaching their goals. Because we
celebrate, we support. Like, me lifting you up lifts me up, and you lift me up, and then I lift you. Like it's that's how it should be.
100%. So it just feels like a really big emotional start of the year. like a cleansing that is happening.
Might be heavy on the chest and then needing to release.
Yeah, really a really heavy time.
Okay, we have January 11th
until March 9th. So January 11th until March 9th. We also have Vesta moving through Aquarius. So Vesta, for
similar
those of
to
you
Cancer.
that don't know, Vesta is the high priestess. She is the keeper of the hearth fire, and she represents what our soul is meant to be devoted to, because that is what it happened with the hearth fire. There was a continual devotion to making sure that the flame was on. She also represents in our own natal chart where we can have sexual repression and denial versus like full sexual liberation. And that's because in ancient times, the Vestals were the keepers of ancient sex practices. And so when the patriarchy set in motion, they told these women, like, you can't practice this anymore, which is really sad because in ancient times, if a baby was born of a Vestal, because it was considered such a high duty in society, that baby was like treated like royalty. So it's okay. So yeah, because of that, it's just a really interesting dynamic when we're looking at our own personal Vesta placement, but her transit collectively is like where we are being pointed towards.
For what?
For devotion.
All right, sorry, y'all. Somebody knocked on the door, so we had to pause.
Okay, so what was I saying?
You were talking about Vesta.
To March 9th, Vesta and Aquarius.
You explained what Vesta rules over.
Devotion to change. So the
hearth fire, and you talked about the babies.
Yes.
And that they took that practice away.
Yes.
And so now, like, what does this transit mean for people? Like, how can they work with Vesta and Aquarius?
Yes. So Vesta and Aquarius is really highlighting this devotion to innovation, collective healing, future timelines, humanitarian work. It is devotion to like visionary consciousness. So I think that that's really beautiful. And it's happening alongside Pluto's movement through Aquarius, obviously. And historically, Vesta in Aquarius, this aligns with movements towards like ethics and technology spaces.
Oh, with AI, we need that.
Yeah, networks, and then breakthroughs in like collective consciousness, because she is again devoted to visionary states of consciousness. Okay. So with this transit, it is really asking us on a collective level, like what cause or vision do you feel like is your spiritual assignment in 2026? Like what do you want to be devoted to in the process of creating collective change? Like, what is your role in the revolution, basically?
Yeah, I love that.
So that is what's coming up. I feel like I have cookie crumb on me. I do.
There you go, yeah. Cookie crumbs.
It's the holidays. We're recording this on Christmas Eve for some people, so I made a lot of cookies.
Okay, so, we're professional yappers. That's why we have a podcast. Yes. So sometimes that means that the episode goes on for like over 2 hours.
So. A lot of times it means that. So
even the Alexa agrees. So we decided to cut this episode into 2 halves, pausing it here, and we'll pick up right where we leave off next week.
So come back and listen to the rest of the episode next week.
Thank you for listening to the Celestial Circle podcast. We are eternally grateful to have you in our cosmic community.
Make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen.
That way you'll be updated whenever new episodes drop.
Please leave us a review and share with your friends so that our circle grows.
The circle is now closed.
Bye!